Welcome to Grit and Grace, the place where grit shapes you, grace carries you, and friends walk beside you through it all. I'm Pam Rader, and along with my co hosts Erin Payne and Brian Thiessen, we're here to laugh, cry, and tell the truth about what it means to be fully human. Think of us as your old friends. We share real stories, a little cowboy logic, and transformational tools. Because here's the thing, life's gonna kick your ass sometimes, but it'll also invite you to rise. And when you've got grit and grace and a few good friends, you will get through it all. So pull up a chair, grab your coffee, and buckle up. Welcome to the very first episode of Grit and Grace. If you've been with me through Authenticity Unleashed, you know this show has always been about real talk, resilience, and rising through the messy, beautiful human parts of life. And while that heart hasn't changed, what has changed is that I don't want to do this alone. Because here's the truth. Playing with my friends is a hell of a lot more fun and way more powerful than going solo. Which is why I'm so thrilled to introduce to you my co-host for Grit and Grace, Erin Payne. Erin is not just a dear friend, she's a woman who knows grit in her bones and grace in her soul. She's walked her own path of self-abandonment, people-pleasing, and shrinking herself to stay safe. And she's had the courage to blow all that up and reclaim her truth and soften into her power. Today, she's a transformation and embodiment coach who helps people come home to their most authentic and empowered selves, including me, y'all. I call her every day. She talks me off the ledge half the day. But don't let the depth fool you. She's also, in true Pam Rader fashion, cheeky, no bullshit, super wise, and the perfect partner in crime for these conversations. So together, Erin and I are going to laugh, cry, poke fun at life, and dig into the kind of transformational work that polishes us instead of grinding us down. So my friends, meet Erin. You're going to love her.
Oh my gosh, that was quite the intro. Thank you. You always have a way of making me feel so special. Thank you so much. I'm super happy to be here, and I cannot wait to get started on this journey.
I know. We're going to have so much fun diving into the grit of life and how do we alchemize that and turn it into grace? How do we take
Yeah,
life's adversities and let them prepare us for greatness? And how can we even look back at things that we maybe thought were horrible at the time and see the beauty and the gifts in them? And I just love that we're going to be exploring that during our time together,
absolutely. Me too. It's like those are our conversations.
right?
Yeah.
So for the people that are just meeting you, how would you describe yourself beyond titles and roles, just as a human? How would you describe yourself, Erin?
Oh man. Well, lots of times I feel like I'm an absolute mess and I'm here for it. Other times, I feel like I got my stuff together for the most part. I am the mom of 2 boys, and they are constantly challenging me to transform the way I look at life, love, and all of the things. So, I'm a busy mom. I'm recently separated, and I'm reclaiming that part of me, learning who I am again. And I would say, I'm resilient. I'm resilient, and I definitely like to glean the wisdom from everything that I do. So it's just a part of who I am. This work is just a part of who I am, for
Yeah,
sure.
for sure. And also, folks, Erin's got moves, y'all. She can dance. She loves to sing. She can play a little guitar, especially if she drinks some rye whiskey.
Yeah, that's true. Like all of that stuff too is all exactly who I am. There's a great campfire story there. Definitely.
She's a yoga teacher. And for those of you that don't know, Erin was the co-owner of Shift Power Yoga in Sylvan Lake, Alberta. We did some work together for a long time, and we have always loved to collaborate. And growth is the thing that we seem to collaborate on the most.
Yeah, I would say that's absolutely true. Yeah.
So, what's one thing that most people get wrong about you when they first meet you?
So I come across so I put people at ease really, really quickly. That's a gift that I have. That's one of my superpowers. And what they might not know about me is that I'm actually pretty spicy. And
Mhm.
if if you don't like, if I'm not judgmental, but sometimes when things like hit me the wrong way, I'm like, what in the F is that?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I'm pretty spicy inside, and, right now, as I reclaim myself, I'm learning to, honor that, really,
Yeah.
for
You
sure.
know, it's funny as you were saying that, I'm like, we're the actual mirror kind of image of each other because people accuse me of being really intense. But as you know, I cry about everything and I'm pretty soft hearted.
Yeah, because I definitely come across I cry for sure all the time, but I'm starting to embrace a little bit more of my unapologetic, "This is how I feel, and screw
Yeah.
anybody who doesn't like it."
I love that. I love it.
But I also love people, like, it's kind of a it's just a pendulum swinging, and it's something that I need to do as a recovered people pleaser. It's like, no, I need to know what I like and what I don't like, and that's
Yeah.
important. So
So
that's kinda where I'm at with it.
you've been really open about being a recovering people pleaser, teaching workshops and leading programs and can you share what that looked like in your life? Like where did it start? What was the cost of being a people pleaser? And then what was the final push that where you said, fuck that?
Oh, so, I mean, I don't even know where it started, to be honest. I lived the first quarter of my life with a real defense mechanism on, so I just pushed everybody away. But then when I decided that I wanted to not have that be so present in my life, I think it was my mom that told me, like, "You don't always have to be a bitch." And I know it's weird, but that is what I was like. And so in my early 20s, I kind of started putting that to bed, and what came out of that was I was constantly thinking about my life, my choices, what was going on through the lens of what someone else would think. And the cost of that, I mean, it was exhausting, but I didn't even know it. And so I really learned the cost when I learned that I was a people pleaser, when someone sort of informed me and I was like, "What? Oh my gosh, I can't believe this." And that's when I understood that I did not know myself. And
Mm.
that bothered me more than I can possibly tell you.
I
I
have
don't
a
even know
really
what I like about this. I don't know what I don't like about this. I was so bothered by that. It put me on the floor. I was in tears.
I have a really funny people pleasing story because most people wouldn't really consider me a people pleaser, but I really was for a long, long time too. And as you know, I have a bunch of really eclectic friends. Like I collect the Island of Misfit toys, like
Yes.
and I don't know what
I was
possessed
one of
me.
them.
Yeah, I don't know what possessed me to have a dinner party with all my weirdo friends, like from completely different walks. When I say weirdos, I just mean like to each other, like different walks of life, bikers and then like artists and like, everything in between the jock kind of guys and then the yoga hippies and I realized when I got them all in the same room at my house and I'm having conversations with them that I could hear myself in quite false agreement with everything that people were saying about politics or sports or anything. And then I would move to talk to another person and hear myself changing my mind or my opinion. And I realized I don't even know what I think about anything, just that I don't know who I am or what I care about.
Yeah.
And and then I was like instantly I don't feel very good.
I have a tummy ache.
I have a tummy ache. I have to leave my own party.
Yeah, yeah, I'm going to bed.
But I
Yeah,
very
and that's
much
the thing.
realized that I was just and the cost was really any sense of self, which means if you don't have a sense of self,
Yes,
how do we ever build anything that would be fulfilling or satisfying? Because we're living all everyone else's shoulds.
100%. Yeah, and I mean, how can you even walk like, I don't know how I walked through life like that. I don't know
Well,
how I walked through life like that.
the underlying factor for me was my fear of disappointing people. And I think that's
Mm,
something a lot of people can relate to. And then of course the fear of rejection too. Like I wanted to be liked and I wanted
yeah,
to be thought of in high regard, I guess. And but really disappointing people was kind of the underneath thing for me that if I disappointed them then I wouldn't be enough.
mm, mhm.
But
Yeah,
every time we choose to not disappoint someone else, we disappoint ourselves.
absolutely, it's abandoning yourself for sure. And I
Yeah.
didn't even know what that meant.
No.
That didn't even cross my
We
mind.
didn't
I
have
didn't even
that
know what that meant.
language. We didn't
No.
even know what people pleasing was. What are you yeah.
No, exactly,
There's a lot
exactly.
of people pleasers out there right now that are listening that go, "I'm not a people pleaser, I'm just actually nice."
Yeah, I yep, I get that
Newsflash, you're
all the
not.
time. I get that all the time. It's just who I am. I'm just nice, but you're constantly abandoning yourself. You're putting yourself underneath someone else. Like doing it once or twice, yeah, that's okay. That can be kind and generous, but when it's a consistent action of putting
Yeah.
yourself underneath, whether it's time, schedule, or money, it's you just chipping away at your vitality, who you are.
Well, and then I think
Yeah.
you said earlier the pendulum swings, and what I see about that is it's inevitable. If you people please enough, then all of a sudden the bitch comes out to play every once in a while and blows up.
Yep.
You know?
100%. Yeah.
So
The
you
pendulum swings.
people please, and then you blow up and you cause destruction in your relationships because you've sacrificed and you resent people for not appreciating it.
Mhm.
Then you start to, build a case against them.
Oh, yeah,
Then we
absolutely.
reject them, and then we're
Yep.
all resigned to this, just how people are. But at the end of the day, if we just expressed ourselves and our wants and needs and desires, we wouldn't be in that pickle, and and the bitch wouldn't have to pull out her boxing gloves and show up to kick some doors down.
Throat punch.
Throat punch, yeah. Throat You're a mom of boys too. I used to say to my boys all the time, "Throat punching is a thing, so you might wanna watch
Yeah.
yourself right now."
Yeah, totally, yeah, and for me, it was I was always scared of what people thought of me, so I was constantly afraid of being judged by people,
Yeah.
and then, of course, rejection as well, and, it wasn't until I got into business and had a business partner and was basically just completely floored that floored by the decisions, floored meaning, like, walked all over, and then I just let things go. "Yeah, I don't mind, I don't care. Yeah, that's fine, that's fine, that's fine. Whatever you want." And it just was this vortex of negativity that was, oh god, and it became too much. So that was really the push that helped me see myself and
Mhm.
know that I did not want to be that anymore.
So, would you I know you've been through a separation recently and you're single
Mhm.
momming, which is hard, but I know a little bit about you and I know that experience with your business partner and I was involved in that arena as well, but that experience with that business partner was probably your most transformative season in terms of people pleasing,
Oh,
and it
yeah.
was it was because of the grit that this particular person brought to it.
Mhm.
So talk a little bit more about that. Yes, you abandoned yourself, but how was it how was it transformative for you?
Well, so what they showed me was that first of all, they showed me who I was in that, right? And I knew that that was something that I didn't wanna be. But what I realized through all of that was that I needed more strength. And, we talked about you just said we didn't have the language for it. So
Mhm.
I didn't have really a lot of languaging around it. All I knew is that I needed some more strength to show up in a way that was saying, okay, this is actually what I want.
Mhm.
And that was the beginning of it. That was the beginning of it. What do I want? And okay, how do I pull some strength from myself really to speak my truth?
Yeah.
And that was the beginning of it. And so that's what that person showed me for sure.
Well, what's
For sure.
interesting about I bore witness to that whole thing play out and you were both two sides of the pendulum swinging. So you were the people pleaser, lay down, get walked over, and they were the epitome of control freak. But they're both trauma responses.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and so
Yes,
you
it
got and
was
that tends to be what will attract each other, right?
yeah, full
And
on trauma
so
response.
what I would love to say to people that are listening right now, if you are on one end of the spectrum or the other, if you're a control freak, you are probably inviting or attracting and magnetizing a lot of people pleasers around you. And you might feel powerful, but you're getting a whole lot of false agreements and you're creating resentment in your relationships. And for if you're feeling walked over, someone's controlling you, your responsibility in that is that you are a people pleaser who's not expressing yourself and asking for what it is that you need and speaking up. So there's work for both people. And when we get attractions like that help, like are magnetized, what can happen is we just start to point fingers and blame. But you, unlike most people, you decided to dive in and do the work. What's my role in this? And that's really where the alchemy happens. That's where we turn grit into grace, is when we say,
Absolutely.
where's my responsibility in this? Where do I need to take myself? What skills do I need to learn? Where have I not asked for what I needed? And, the other parties chose not to take that kind of responsibility. And that's their own lesson, but you did and you grew. And that's really how we turn those gritty things into grace, which is exactly what we're talking about here.
Absolutely, and it was messy at first, and it was not pretty because I didn't know how to do it. I was like Bambi,
Yeah.
I was brand new, I didn't know how to do it, so it was not pretty, but I did my best and I showed up in a way that was like, "No, this is what I want," and so then there were fights and it was not I mean,
Yeah.
I could do so much better now, but it was
Well, here's another way of saying people pleaser. It's we're boundaryless.
yes,
We're
yes,
boundaryless. And when we're boundaryless and we suddenly start to create boundaries, the people who benefited from you having none will grow three heads.
yeah,
It's just
absolutely.
like it's like normal. And that's actually our fault. It's our responsibility. It's like, oh, we taught them how to treat us and then suddenly we change the game.
Yeah, we
And
did.
so, when you're a people pleaser and you're coming out and you're going to create some boundaries, ask for what you need, say no to certain things, expect that people are going to grow three heads and it's not going to be pretty and you're going to lose some people in your life. But you either lose those people or you lose yourself.
And I realized I didn't wanna be attracting that in anyways, and so those
Mhm.
people could be sloughed off actually pretty easily.
Yeah.
So, it
Yeah.
because
So,
I did understand that I attracted her or them in.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah.
I did know that. I knew that. I knew I was the perfect match for her, and I was the perfect match for her, and she was the perfect match for me to learn this lesson, and I
Yes.
knew that. I knew that.
Yeah.
It was not easy, but I knew that.
And that's another thing we're going to talk a lot about on this show, the law of attraction. And we're going to bring in a special guest from time to time who knows a
Yeah,
little bit about that. We'll keep that
absolutely.
for a surprise.
Yes, that's gonna be exciting.
I know, right? If you could go back to the Erin who was still abandoning herself to stay safe, what would you whisper in her ear?
I would whisper, "Trust yourself.
Mm,
Trust
mhm,
yourself more. Learn to trust how you feel, learn to trust your intuition." Because
mhm,
that is one of the biggest things that I did for myself was started to hone my intuition in the last
mhm,
5 or 6 years. And that's just learning of that is literally the learning of what do I like? Am I safe? Am I not safe? What don't I like? Who is this person in front of me? And just trusting
mhm.
myself, I think, because my first thought was, "Oh, you are worthy." Well, I told myself that all the time.
Right?
And I've gotten there for sure.
Yeah.
But I told myself that I am worthy, I am worthy. But I think that learning to trust myself and have faith in myself was a really big game changer for
I
me.
love that because so many people talk about it being self-worth but I would say like actually you and I along the way even though we were people pleasers I still had a pretty good sense of self-worth and I think you did too.
I thought I did.
And I think on some
Mhm.
level we did. There's a foundation of that. And then when people talk about, I'm worthy, it reminds me of, do you remember Saturday Night Live, Stuart Smalley used to go, I'm good enough, I'm smart enough, and doggone it, people like
People
me. And
like
it
me.
felt like that to me too. So because it's not actionable. To say I'm worthy is not actionable, but to say trust yourself, hone your intuition, like that
Mhm.
gives an actionable step. And when we have action in the physical world, that changes something.
Yeah, the verb.
Yeah, instead of like,
This is something I
I'm
can do.
I'm so worthy.
Yeah, it's almost conceptual, right? And so it's like bringing it down into the realness,
Totally. Take it
the real
from
life.
concept to creation by
Yes,
saying, okay, how do I well, when people ask me how do I get self-worth, I say act like someone who has it. Do
absolutely.
the
What do you do?
actions.
What do they do? Yeah.
Yeah. And then as you act like someone who has it, you start to claim it.
Yep, definitely.
So what shifted for you when you started, reclaiming your truth and your voice and like, what did that look like? What did stepping into your sort of more authentic self look like in real time?
Well, one of the things that shifted for me was that people who did not have my highest good or highest who weren't on my team, they
Mhm.
started sloughing out of my life. And when I started treating myself better, they people that weren't treating me very good were no longer in my life. And
Mhm.
I didn't even realize that how huge that is. I didn't even I didn't even realize it. So that was kind of, that's a big, and that actually segues into my separation because
Mhm.
honestly my business partner was the first and then my partner
Mhm.
is the second. Well, there's more
Yeah,
in between, but they were the two main ones that
right.
yep,
And so, well, reclaiming authenticity, what I hear and what you're saying there is like it requires a willingness to give up what you must.
absolutely. Yep.
Like we can't hang on or go back. It's like if I really want to move forward into authenticity, I have to be willing to let go of the people that I collected when I was inauthentic
Mhm,
as a result, or that I magnetized or drew in as a result of my inauthenticity, because
mhm.
it's just not the same frequency.
Yeah, it was too uncomfortable. It
Yeah.
started to get too uncomfortable. And so now I have people in my life that are really on my team that love me dearly and that I
I'm
love
one of
myself.
them. I love you.
I know, I know. And it feels really good to have people, they say like the 5 people that you're around the most is what you're like. Well, that always bothered me. I'm like, God.
Oh, no. Oh, yeah, so
And
if you
so
look around your circle and the 5 people that you become like
you're
the 5
around the
people you're
most.
around, and if you're like, "Oh my god, it's time to get new
Yeah.
friends."
Yeah, and now I feel really good about the 5 people that I'm closest with, you being one of them, and it's like,
Yeah.
okay, yeah, these are women who I'm in community with constantly. Of course, my family is there too, but these are
Yeah.
women who love me and who have their hands on my back and who are, like, supporting me to rise and to be the best I can be, and that is priceless.
Yeah.
I say that's the biggest gift. Of course, I'm walking through the world now much more confident in who I am. I'm more authentic, I'm more aligned. I have people that are I'm more magnetic and all of those things are absolutely wonderful, but for sure the people that I have that are closest to me are the best gift
Yeah.
ever.
I would say that too.
Yeah,
It's, like, so rewarding to have deep friendships and, like you say, like, women who have their hands on your back, people who have their hands on your back that just kinda
people.
hold you up, and, we rise by lifting others.
Yes,
And
absolutely.
that's so beautiful to be in a community with people who are not in competition, but we're like, how can we build together? How can we grow together? And that's what this Grit and Grace community is all about, is how can we help other people take their obstacles and their adversities and turn them into building blocks and recognize that they're preparatory for the goals and the dreams that they have, the things that they want, these difficulties that they might be going through are there to help them to get the skills they need, because if the person they were now knew how to have that dream or goal, they'd already have it. So this
Mhm.
adversity has been put on your path to help you get the skill to have that thing that you said you wanted.
Yes, I can't say it any better.
So how has embodiment, so embodiment's a big term out
Mhm.
there, and you're an embodiment coach. It kind of means actually being in your body, but what does it really mean to you? And how has that influenced the way you coach and you live today?
So for me, embodiment is exactly what you were just talking about. Like everything that we've been through, our past, even our future, because we think about our future, everything that we've been through, experienced, and everything that we hold in us, even my I am unworthy lies. Once that's integrated and we can hold it in a truthful, honest way, meaning, no wonder this
Hmm.
is who I was. I can
Hmm.
de-shame myself because this is no wonder I behaved this way or no wonder I thought this way. To me, like embodiment is integrating all of the things that we are into our walk of life now.
Okay, I
And it's
heard something
giving yourself
today that is so beautiful, and I wanna just interject here because it was so moving. I'm actually gonna put it in a speech I'm doing, so I'm like
amazing.
But it was like instead of I don't know where the quote came from. I'll have to look it up, but instead of looking back and cringing at the old versions of ourselves, in other words, shaming, instead lay flowers at the feet of every version of your previous self, of all the women that you have been,
Mhm.
because the temple that you sit in now is made of their bones.
Yes. Yes, and we can when we can walk through life with that full acceptance of
Yeah.
those bones, as you say,
Yeah.
instead of cringe, "I can't believe that I reject parts of myself because of that," we can be more, settled in our
Yeah.
lives, and to me, that's embodiment.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
Feeling loved
Beautiful.
and safe, and so then when I'm embodied and when I have integrated all of those parts of me into who I am and I hold them all, my life becomes more the law of attraction just works better.
Yeah. Yeah, we have to get our frequency right because I mean, we're always attracting, but we'll keep attracting shit if we don't get it, if we don't get in alignment.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So the law of attraction just starts to work. All of a sudden, what I want is like I know that I want to have access to more money. That's one thing that I want to work for me soon. And I know that's gonna happen. And I'm
Yeah.
not like, oh God, what if it doesn't? Oh, maybe it won't. I'm like, no, that's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Because I'm moving towards it in an authentic way. So there's no fear behind where I'm moving to. There's desire behind what I'm doing and where I'm moving to.
So, it's giving yourself grace,
Yeah,
giving the old
exactly.
versions of ourselves grace. So, grace is
Yeah.
a core part of this show. So, let's talk about what grace means to you personally.
I feel like grace is a side effect of all the work we do. I think that grit so when I go through the shit and I'm going through the grit of life, sometimes I can do that gracefully and sometimes I can't.
Mhm.
But once I have gone through it, then I can speak about it and be with it in a more graceful way. So for me, it's almost like grace comes from the grit. It arises from the grit.
Mm.
And that, like I mean, there's so many different ways we can look at it or talk about it, but that is really it's like transformed into grace.
I like the idea that grit can grind us down or it can polish us. And to me,
Oh,
that's the
yeah.
grace.
I like that. Yes, yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's
Yeah.
beautiful. Yeah, I like that.
So, confession time. We
Mine or
don't
yours?
Yeah, well, yeah, we're both gonna we're both committed to like walking in truth. So what's your grit habit? The one thing you still do that drives you nuts about yourself or that you wish you wouldn't do or like what's a nemesis for you right now?
A nemesis for me, one thing I wish I wouldn't do.
Mm. Oh no.
It has to do with sex.
Okay.
And one
Cool.
thing that I wish that I wouldn't do is use sex for intimacy.
Oh, you had to
And
say that.
what do you mean?
I think it's women's whole thing is that we have been conditioned to use sex for intimacy. We mistake it for intimacy. And so when we're looking for true intimacy, we throw sex at it and think that that's it. And then we feel empty afterwards because it's not
Yes.
actually what we really wanted. We want to feel seen and known and heard and cherished.
And intimate first before that. And so that's what, and this is where I want to go, and this is where
Yeah.
I'm going.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm in the bumbly Bambi part of it right now, a little bit,
We're both out there
unfortunately.
Bambi on
Yeah,
ice.
and so, like, okay, I realize that I am in the transformation of this, and I'm learning how to make different decisions, better decisions, more aligned decisions with who I am and who I wanna be, and it's
Yeah.
a work in progress.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah. I
can
get
have
it.
grace. I can have grace.
I get it. Yeah, that's such a big topic. I think we're gonna spend a whole episode diving into that topic when like
Yes, we
soon,
should.
because I think it's so big how we were never really taught about what sex is or isn't. The sex ed in high school doesn't cut it. And so
No.
we get all the messages about like from religion and society and all of this. So that's we're already mind fucked about it. And then we aren't taught to know ourselves and ask for what we need. So when we're starving for something and we want some kind of intimacy, we jump to that. And
Yeah.
and then we wonder why it doesn't work. and
Mhm.
why we feel, yeah, there's so much around that, but I love that you were so brave to share that. And yeah, we're gonna dive into that. And totally, me too. And
I
like
decided to go on a date recently, and, the date didn't go well,
mhm.
and, I tried to save it by, like, kissing him, and I'm just like, "Well, that's interesting. What was that all about?" Not just
Yeah.
kissing, I mean, like, bringing him in and having a makeout session.
Yeah, no, you know what? I did the
Save
same
it,
thing, and then I was, "You gotta go."
yeah.
Because I realized I was like, "That's not aligned for me. What am I doing? I don't want that." I
Yes,
wanted
that's been
someone
a real
to that
thing.
knew and loved me and understood me, and that wasn't it. And, like, I am pretty sure I probably just called you after,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
it's
and that's what I'm
yeah.
talking about, right? It's, "Oh, why is this happening? Okay, this is really bugs me that I can't quite figure this out yet, but I'm getting closer because I can see myself in it and I have both things happening at once where I'm going to make this decision that maybe isn't the best decision, but I'm also feeling okay, I can see that I have the awareness of what I want to do differently and where I want to go. So
Yeah.
it's really interesting to hold both of those things, but
Totally, we can see
yeah.
ourselves and you're like, "Wow, you're a flailing teenager right now, but you're still doing it."
Yeah, exactly, and
But
that's
at
okay.
least we're aware of it, and now you sort of realign. So, yeah, we'll dive into that because we also have our mutual friend that is, gonna make an appearance on the show. Should
Yes.
we tell people who that is?
I think you can tell a little bit,
A
yeah.
little bit? So,
Let's just, like, drop a little.
let's drop a little hint. So, we might
Yeah,
have a certain cowboy drop by every once in a while to offer
yeah,
the masculine perspective on our show,
which is so
and
exciting.
it's so exciting because this particular cowboy is, he's got a really good background in psychology and law of attraction, and he is an incredible pattern pointer outer and
Recognize, yep.
calls it as he sees it. And he has some things to say about, women and using mistaking intimacy for sex, but from a very compassionate point of view. He says that's your power. You've been taught that that's your power, but you've not been taught how to wield it.
Mhm.
And so
Yeah.
we'll ask him what he has to say about it, but he is going to make some special guest appearances on the show. So stay tuned for the cowboy riding in, everybody.
Yeah, oh, I can't I mean, we could this is a different show or a
Yeah,
different episode for sure.
different episode. Okay, so what's one guilty pleasure or ridiculous ritual that brings you unexpected grace?
One guilty pleasure. Does it have to be ridiculous? I don't know how ridiculous it is. But
No.
honestly, like, my conversations with you
Yeah.
that I have and I have one other friend that I have conversations, like, in the same way with.
Yeah.
And, like, I basically consider her essentially would be my, like, spiritual coach.
Yeah.
And so my conversations with you and my conversations with her where I can just be real without a filter, without
Yeah.
having to worry if I'm pissing somebody off. And I can talk about these things that are sometimes a little bit out there. That is what gives me grace in this world, even when I'm destabilized as hell.
Yeah.
That is
Same.
for sure.
Same. I love that.
Yeah.
Okay. We've been friends a long time. What made you say yes to doing this podcast with me?
Because I see a different Pam. I see a
Mm.
Pam who is, um, wanting to step into the softer side, and
Mm.
I can relate to that
Okay.
Pam, and I can see you being wild and free and loving, and I've watched you become more loving and generous and kind, and I think it's now integrated,
Mm.
and we are going through the exact same thing.
Mhm.
Really, obviously, it's a
Mhm.
little bit different, but we're going through the exact same thing at the same time, and I feel closer to you now than I ever have, partially because I feel like I can be more real with you, and I think you're allowing me in a little bit more.
Mhm.
And so
Mhm.
that's why I said yes and why I can see the vision for this. It's gonna be
Amazing.
amazing.
I love it. I love
Yeah,
it. Yeah, maybe we're not gonna date ever and we'll just be each other's ride or die.
exactly. Exactly. I saw on TikTok the other day, there's these women in Texas, and they're all living together at the kind of like anywhere from, like, 30 to retired, and they
Yeah.
just pool their money, and they all have little houses on the same land, and they're just supporting each other, and I'm like, "That's what me and Pam should do."
Yeah. I got the land, my friend.
Yeah,
Come on over.
exactly.
Oh my god. Okay, what do you hope that people feel when they listen to you and I and occasionally the cowboy, when they listen to Grit and Grace? What do you hope people feel?
I hope people feel that they can see that there's a way. There's a way for them, like a path, just a
Mhm,
little bit of light. 'Cause,
mhm.
like, people come to us and they're like, "What do I do? What do we do? I'm so sad. I'm so depressed. I'm so anxious." And what I hope to give them is that there's hope. There's
Yeah.
hope. I hope they feel hope. And like,
Yeah.
"Oh, okay, there's something that can be done, and I want to walk this path."
One of the ways that I hope that we do that is that we are able to remind them of the grit that they've already climbed out of and the grace that
Yes.
they've already received in their lives to remind them of their power.
Yeah, yes.
To reframe, to look back at your past and say, look what you've already survived. How did you
Mhm.
create this? And like, of course, you're going to get through this. And who do you want to become because of it? And let's give people tools along this journey to help them get there.
And see themselves as sacred.
Yeah. Oh, I love
That
that.
is I just yeah, there's you have every single one of us is a gift, you know?
Yeah. So we're going to be offering Grit and Grace retreats.
Yes, we are.
Both you and I offer one on one coaching.
Yep.
We're going to be offering experiences, workshops, all kinds of things. And I want people to really look forward to this and to look forward to that the experience they have listening to us, real talk, anything's on the table. We're going to laugh. It's going to be imperfect, but it's going to be transformational. Those experiences, they can come have those with us in real life. And I am
Yeah.
so stoked about that.
Yeah, I love that.
I know, right? So, okay, finish this sentence, Erin. The world needs more what?
The world needs more true, like, authenticity.
More authenticity, not
Yeah.
more cowbell.
Definitely not more cowbell. And what I mean by that is that people need to what I wait, I don't wanna say people need to do anything because they don't.
Yeah,
But if people were more aligned with their desires and their truth, I
yeah,
think the world would be a different place.
I agree. What's one practice you can't live without right now? Because there's something that you do that is just life saving for you?
My making sure I have alone time
Yeah, because you
is
have little humans that climb all over you.
yes.
Yeah, you're like touched
Yes, and
out.
I judge myself sometimes for that, I judge myself and, like, why do I feel like I, quote, unquote, "need a break from my kids?" And it's not that I need a break from my kids, it's that I need time with me.
Yeah,
That's
but
different.
also you do need a break from your kids. I sent you a meme the other day that said that if a mother hamster is really stressed out, she will eat her children. So you're doing great.
Yeah, I know I laughed out loud at that, I was like, "Yeah, you're right."
You're
But,
killing
yeah,
it.
let's just be honest, like, I need to make sure that I get that break because if I don't, by the end of 2 weeks, I'm completely fried.
Totally.
Yeah.
And what are you most excited about in this next chapter of your life?
I am most excited about building a business, finally building a business. And I know it's going to happen. Just like I was saying before, like I just know it's happening. It is happening and it's going to happen because it's
It's
more
already
aligned with
happening.
it
Yeah.
is, yeah. It's more
And
aligned
all
with
the
my
grit
desires.
that you've been through is going to be poured into that. And it's going to be
Yes.
so incredible. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. That's
I'm
what
so
I'm most
excited
excited
for
for.
all of our collaborations together with this and to see how we hopefully can touch, move, and inspire people in some small way.
Absolutely.
Well, I'm just so grateful to be on this journey with you. I hope that our listeners really get this and get us and get something from it that's helpful in their life. So, for those of you who like the show, we ask that you share the show, put it out there, share it with your friends. That
Please
helps the
do.
show grow. We also ask you to connect with us. We'll put the links to connect with us in the show notes. And stay tuned for the announcement of our very first Grit and Grace retreat, which is happening next spring in the Caribou area of BC. It's going to be a 4-day transformative retreat with Erin, myself, and the cowboy. And it is going to be an incredible experience of yoga, breath work, horseback riding, transformational work, laughing, fun. The cowboy, I coerced him. He's going to teach 2-step lessons, just so you
Oh,
know.
amazing, amazing. I can't wait. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I know, right? It's gonna be so fun, and we already have a wait list for this event. We haven't got the dates quite set yet. If you're interested in getting on the wait list, we'll have a link in the show notes that you can get on that list, and I highly encourage you to do so. What a blast to go to with your friends or your family or your sister or whatever to come out to this. I promise you, you know what? Erin and I are a good time.
Yeah, we are. I can't wait for the fireside talks. This is my favorite thing
Oh, yeah, the
to do.
fireside talks with the cowboy. Come on. Like, come
Yeah,
on.
yeah. I
So
mean,
fun.
how could you not want to?
Yeah. Okay. Until next time, we both, Erin and I, would love to just offer you all the grace in the world for yourselves and to know
Yes.
that the grit is not happening to you, it's happening for you.
Yep.
And we believe in your ability to transform that grit into the next evolution of who you're becoming.
You got this. Bye, everybody.